Hey everybody, and welcome back to Real Talk with KDG. I'm your host, KDG, and today we're going to be talking about legalizing cannabis, the expectation versus the reality. So, as many of us know, marijuana is a drug derived from the naturally growing cannabis plant. And cannabis contains a multitude of naturally occurring chemicals, but the two most noteworthy and the ones commonly known are CBD and THC. So THC is going to be the primary psychoactive agent in cannabis. So this is the actual chemical that causes the high. So the idea of legalization of marijuana was actually first introduced in 1970 by the grassroots group NORML with the intent to repeal marijuana prohibitions so adults 21 and over could legally consume the drug. Despite this group's efforts, only about 30% of Americans in the 70s supported legalization, but over time, the general attitude toward marijuana legalization has shifted. So as of 2017, nearly 60% of Americans indicated that they think that the use of marijuana should be legalized. And the hope for legalizing marijuana is twofold, that it would decrease marijuana-related arrests, and that it would add an additional income through taxation of the product. So though the drive behind the legalization movement is sound and these would be beneficial, there are several unanticipated negative impacts that have accompanied legalization. So with the increase in positive perception, production of cannabis has shifted from a natural, small-scale growing to more large industries moving in and planting indoors and treating plants with chemicals to produce larger quantities of more potent products. So due to the increased amount of chemical contamination through this larger scale production, the THC levels in commercialized marijuana have increased significantly over the decades, with amounts averaging about 30% in commercialized weed today. And this is a drastic shift from the 1% of THC that was typically found in the weed of the 60s and 70s. While marijuana cigarettes containing naturally produced cannabis still consist of as little as 1% THC, the commercial extraction facilities work to separate THC from the plant material and create concentrated forms of cannabis that are often used in vape pens that have grown in popularity over the past few years. And these concentrates that are found in the vape pens can have as much as 90% THC contained within them. Though less than 10% of marijuana users will become addicted to the drug, the higher the content of the THC initiated at an earlier age and the more regular the pattern of use, the higher the risk is for addiction. The 2019 NIDA Monitoring the Future survey indicated that the vaping of marijuana concentrates among teenagers in the U.S. has nearly doubled. Despite legalization in some states, possession and ingestion of marijuana can still subject individuals to federal prosecution due to its Schedule I drug classification. As we can see in states like Colorado that have already legalized cannabis, legalization does not necessarily lead to decreased marijuana-related incarceration and arrest rates for all people. The increasingly disproportionate arrest rates for youth in Colorado indicate targeting of minority groups by the cannabis industry. While the arrest rates for white kids have gone down 8% since legalization, the arrest rates for Hispanic youth and Black youth have increased, with the Hispanic youth going up 29% and the arrest rates for Black youth increasing by 58%. In addition, individuals are more than twice as likely to consume THC regularly if income is less than $20,000 a year. The increased potency of commercialized marijuana leads to increased desire for consumption and repeated purchase. Because small-scale production of cannabis has been nearly eradicated, taxation of the drug does nothing but make the rich industry heads richer by targeting the poor. So, if the legalization of marijuana does not accomplish the goals it has set out to accomplish, should it still be done? Is it still worth it? Let me know.